Yay! Woohoo! You opened. Your business is open. But what now? Did you know that there are over 30 million small businesses in the USA? I want to talk about 5 steps that you need to take after opening your business. With over 10 million businesses started in the US every year, the vast majority of those businesses close within the first 5 years. And as you can see by this graphic, in 1 year, almost 80% are gone. In 5 years, 50%. So what now? What now is meant to give you some help on how to stay open and grow your business? I'll assume that you have a business plan. However, if not, we do have a template in our resource section of the Chamber U that will help you. It's a step-by-step guide. The business plan is actually a systematic process for thinking about your business. It's like a road map. So let's say that I said to you, hey, let's take a road trip. Where do you want to go? And you said, Alaska. And I said, great, we're off. But which road? I mean, we know it's north, but aren't there a lot of ways that you can get there? A business plan forces you to do the research. I mean, just because you love something and think everyone else should love it too, is there really a need for it? And how do you know? Within this business plan, there are segments that you'll go through. An executive summary, what the marketing opportunity is, what it looks like, a marketing and sales strategy, an operations plan, a team strategy, financial projections. I mean, it's a big deal. The main thing is what's going on in the market right now and what are you going to do? How will you change the market? So let's look at the different things. Number 2, you need to know your numbers. And specifically what I mean by that is you need to know your break even. So your total monthly expenses divided by your gross margin. Now, this may sound simple to you, but how many people actually know their break even and know what it is that they need to do from day one? So let's say that you sell hamburgers and you're going to sell a basket of a basket with fries for $7.95. So if you look at a 12-month plan to reach break even, it can take up to 12 months to reach break even. And then you have to recoup any startup expenses such as your initial investment. So can you break even selling that basket for $7.95? Will you have to sell it for more? How many of those baskets are you going to have to sell before you hit break even? And break even means you're just paying the bills. Once you've done that, you need to identify activities that are going to generate the gross margin that you need. So activities that are revenue generating. An activity like redesigning, decorating, those things are not activities that lead you to a sale. So define the activities. What are the things that will generate that business, that revenue? And we're going to talk about a few of those. So you need a marketing and sales plan. Now, in this marketing and sales plan, it is usual to budget somewhere between 7 to 8% of your revenue towards marketing. So keep that in mind. You'll need to have a message. So we love the story brand message and how that works because it starts with a character who is usually your typical customer that has this problem, and they meet a guide who is you, who understands what's going on with them, and they give that character a plan, and then they give them a call to action All right. So then this whole process gives you a roadmap for creating a message that is compelling enough to make me want to work with you, to buy that hamburger. Why your hamburger versus all the other hamburger options that I've got? A digital marketing plan. Once you have that message down pat, what are you going to do with it? Well, a digital marketing plan includes these things. With a website, you need to make sure that your SEO is in check. You create videos. You use social media, social networks. Business to consumer, Facebook is appropriate. If you're doing business to business, you'll probably need to use LinkedIn, but you'll need to know who your audience is and where they hang out. And you'll need to use email. So what type of email program are you going to use, and how are you going to get that message out? Mobile for texting. Are you going to use push notifications? So all of these things have to be included in that marketing plan. Targets. Who are you going to attract? Who do you need to attract? Who is perfect for your business? And then once you've attracted them, you've got the targets, you need to be able to put them into a sales funnel of some sort. And it depends upon what type of business you're doing. If you're doing business to business or business to consumer, or if you're doing it through digital marketing. But you have to bring the prospects into some sort of a step-by-step process through a sales funnel in order to gain their business. This is a selling process. So a marketing funnel or a sales funnel is one thing, but once you get in front of that customer, then you have a sales cycle that you'll need to go through. What will your sales cycle look like? We do have a video course on sales training. I would highly recommend it if you don't have a very specific outlined sales cycle. And as you go through all of these stages, how will you measure? How will you know that you're on track? How will you keep track of all of these cycles and funnels? And then 4, there is no silver bullet. So make sure that you check your expectations. Things don't happen overnight. Too many times I see people get all dressed up, put their lipstick on, they go get in their car and they just sit there. It's like, what are you doing? Do you have gas in the car? Do you need a map? And then they get frustrated because the car isn't going anywhere. Oh, and they needed the car to be there yesterday. Then they panic, and then they start grasping at everything in sight, hoping it will start the engine and they can be on their way. But they just sit there, watching the world go by through the windshield. So, don't just sit there waiting. Number 5, you've got to get moving now. You've got to start activities. But what activities? All right. A lot of people think of immediately networking. Well, why does everybody say to do this? The reason I ask is because most think of going to events, but for what purpose? What are you going to do? Are you just going? Are you just handing out cards? Are you going to talk about yourself and your company? I don't know about you, but most of the events I go to, that's what they do. They all take turns talking about themselves. And why? Why would we do that? Why would someone be interested in that? So I say, heavens no. Not that you don't do some of these events, but this is not the end all. I say, get involved. How can you help others? Get involved in your community. Start meeting people for the purpose of how can you help them. I really do believe that if you set out to help someone, you will receive tenfold that help. And there will be an opportunity for you to talk and for you to get to know each other. But start with how you can help others. Stay consistent. Stay real. Whatever you decide to do, create a plan for it. Maybe it's 2 times a month you're going to do a specific type of activity. You do need to be visible. You do need to be seen in your market. People need to know who you are. They need to know that there is a person attached to that business rather than just the advertising piece of it. So do that and be consistent with it. The consistency will pay off, but it takes time. So this is a group photo of everyone who cares. I want you to remember this because I don't want you to sell. Most people, as a general rule, and I'm sure you can put yourself in this position, if people start coming up to you and telling you all about who they are and what they do and yada, 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 you don't really care. We don't care. The only time we're going to care is when there is a need. When we have a need, when we have a problem, and someone's there that can solve it, we're listening, right? So, bottom line, you've got to have patience. When you open a business, you need to be prepared for the fact that it could take up to 12 months before you hit break even. It just depends. Now that's break even. Remember, we still have probably an initial investment we need to recoup. So if you don't have that time to wait, you might need to reconsider what your strategies are and what the best method is to obtain your goals. But it does take patience. And when you become impatient and you become desperate, that's when things go south. So please, above all else, know that you have these systems in place. Have a plan, work your plan, and be patient.